This episode of Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by undies. Get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee by going to meundies.com/insidegaming.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming for Tuesday.
Hey, that's right, it's Tuesday. Here's a question. We've all played mobile games, right?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love matching colored gems or matching colored candy?
I do, I love it.
Colored soda or all sorts of colors. There's a whole world of colored stuff to match.
Don't you guys not have phones?
You guys not have phones?
That game where you played as a spider in an old mansion, that was kind of fun.
That's a game?
Here's another question. Would you pay a monthly subscription fee to play mobile games?
Hell no.
Because that's what Apple's betting on with its newly announced Apple Arcade that's due out later this year.
Suck it, Stadia. How do you like them, Apple?
Oh gosh, Brian,
Once
that's
again,
a terrible pun.
I'm sorry.
You need to apologize.
Like your joke. Man, it only feels like a week ago that Google said they were also getting into games. So what happens? Apple does it too.
As for the Apple Arcade, it's a little different than Stadia.
Sure.
Apple Arcade will be a subscription service that lets you play a hand-picked bunch of exclusive games for a monthly fee. Brian, tell them more.
Yeah, you can play on your phone, your iPad, your Mac, even your Apple TV, all your Apple devices.
That's
will be
me,
able to
all my
play.
Apple stuff.
But there is an important distinction here. It's not a streaming service, so you'll download the games onto your chosen device.
Those are like 4 megabytes. I can't do that. So it's another subscription service because we all need one more of those in our lives, right?
Yeah, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, the new Disney streaming service, Pornhub Premium. Pornhub Premium? Do people pay for Pornhub?
You gotta support the artists.
Brian, tell them more about the Apple service.
So to tempt you to try it out, they are touting a hand-picked exclusive lineup of 100 games featuring developers like Konami, Sega, Annapurna Interactive, and Mistwalker. That is the new studio from Hironobu Sakaguchi, who made the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, my mom loves that guy. She can't go one day without saying, I love Hironobu Sakaguchi.
I thought Final Fantasy VII was overrated.
Shut up, Mom! Apple also listed Cartoon Network, Lego, Ken Wong, and Will Wright, the creator of the SimCity franchise.
Wow.
Yeah, and The Sims, Sim Ant.
Apple definitely wasn't short on its hyperbole in its announcement, though. It showed the exclusive games off on its website, where it describes them as groundbreaking, where storytelling and design are pushed further than ever before.
Okay, so prepare to see Candy Crush like never before.
You mean like Candy Crush Soda or Jelly Saga?
Oh
or
no,
what
it's
are you
been
talking
done. There's also some pretty looking games, lots of narrative driven stuff, a brawler game from Lego, and of course, puzzle games.
Brian, tell them what Annapurna Interactive had.
You might remember last year they made the very well-received Florence on mobile. That made a lot of best of lists last year. They're making an adventure game called the Pathless. It had some nice-looking indie artwork, you know, the type, lots of colors and basic shapes. There was another called Beyond a Steel Sky. That's kind of a dystopian-themed game from comic artist Dave Gibbons. You might remember he drew Watchmen. Pretty big name there.
So on one hand, it looks like it drew some interest from a variety of developers, which makes sense because this lets them bypass a lot of the traditional game publishers.
Yeah, now they just have to deal with one giant publisher, Apple.
The games also looked pretty of all ages. One even specifically mentioned that it didn't have any guns or killing.
There's no guns, there's no killing, we're just telling a story.
So don't expect anything from Rockstar in this lineup.
Again, though, it does make you wonder who this is targeted to. And maybe Apple didn't know either, which could be where they turned off comments on the YouTube announcements.
Not a bad idea. Apple isn't exactly a stranger to games though, but they're not super familiar with them either. So Apple has made a lot of money from the hundreds of thousands of mobile games on its App Store, but those are a completely different animal than most console or PC games.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have fun.
A lot of the biggest mobile games use the freemium model, which we all know well, which means they're free to play, but you pay for in-app purchases.
Right, I mean, that's kind of similar to how console games are anyway, I guess.
Console games also make you pay $60 for the privilege of paying for all those microtransactions.
Have you seen the graphics in Anthem?
I mean, I have.
You got, those aren't free. Apple stressed though that these games will be playable offline and they won't involve in-game purchases. So more traditional games from a business sense.
Yeah, they're going for a more traditional gamer, but with mobile games. So this kind of feels like a Venn diagram with two circles that barely overlap. And if they're iOS games, that means they'll have touchscreen controls, although there'll probably be some allowances made for keyboards and Apple TV inputs. So there are some good touchscreen games out there, but it's still pretty limiting.
Even Google said we need a controller.
Yeah, that's right, they did. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Overall, Apple's pretty late to video games. While the iPhone has hit a slump lately, Apple's revenues from its other businesses are still doing really, really well.
Last November, Apple reported revenue from services like Apple Music, iTunes, and Apple Pay hit $10 billion during a recent quarter.
Oh my gosh.
Which was at an all-time high.
Why are they interested in video games?
For one, it's Apple. It's one of the last tech-related businesses that it hasn't really dove into. And while this isn't as as technically ambitious as Stadia, it does look like Apple has signed up some decently high-profile developers to make games for its all-new shiny platform.
Yeah, like we said though, there are still some huge question marks here. Asking casual mobile players to sign up for a monthly subscription service seems like it might be a bridge too far.
But will more traditional gamers pay a monthly fee for iOS games?
I don't know. We'll have to see. It does feel like two very different audiences. I can't see my mom signing up for this.
But would like a 10-year-old doesn't have a credit card, so like who would buy these
Their
games?
parents, I don't know, they're going for the Fortnite kids. But I could see them maybe if it was like a Google Music, YouTube Premium Red situation where
Sure.
they add it onto your iTunes subscription or something like that. But yeah, I don't know who this is.
I don't know. I mean, they're making cards too.
Wait, what? I always forget to stress this. We are not the target audience for
No,
this.
no, not
we,
at all.
the grizzled old men
Yeah, no, you're
who
right.
have Google Pixel phones.
Yeah,
So,
you're absolutely right. That's like the
absolutely.
12-year-old with the iPhone that they got from their mom. That's the person that might sign up for this. Anyways, Apple Arcade is due out this fall, so we'll know more as the year goes on. Get ready to hand Apple your credit card again.
Yeah, and if this sort of service appeals to you, let us know in the comments because I want to sort out all the crazy people.
Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by MeUndies. You probably spend about 90% of your life in underwear. Most of you do. So don't you think you owe it to yourself to make sure you're wearing the softest undies in town? That's why I only wear MeUndies. MeUndies uses the coveted micro-modal fabric, which is a full 3 times softer than cotton. Men can now try the new Boxer Brief with Fly, which is the same great cut as Boxer Brief, but now with an added option for guys who prefer to go through the gate versus over the fence. Boy, I'm gonna be real careful when I talk about that. MeUndies is also the go-to for the softest loungewear on the planet. You can hang out in their super comfy lounge pants and onesies. Yes, MeUndies makes onesies, and they're incredible. They better be soft because obviously MeUndies is very, very soft. So to get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/InsideGaming. That's MeUndies.com/InsideGaming.
On their platform.
Well, they also have a hidden microphone so they hear everything you say.
Oh, it ain't hidden. It's right there.
Yeah, that's true. They told you.
A big "Hey You Pikachu" mic right in your face the whole time.
Yeah, what's that? You want to see the Pikachu movie? Tickets on sale now, Fandango.
We just bought them for you. We're sending a lift to your house right now.
What, Ryan? No.
Open up!
Of course, you'll need infrastructure to do this. Google touted their fiber optic network that they claim has more